Pakistan is on the boil. Paramilitary troops have been deployed in big numbers in a bid to disperse the anti-France rally being organised by the banned Islamist organisation TLP amid violent clashes. Also in the latest, Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan has convened a meeting of the National Security Committee on Friday. Let's recap a bit. On Wednesday, at a rally in Pakistan, 3 policemen were shot dead when supporters of the banned Islamist party opened fire. 2 demonstrators also died in the ensuing shootout. The government had to bring in troops to restore order. The police says more than 200 supporters of the TLP party were subsequently detained in a crackdown aimed at containing the spread of violence to other parts of the province. On Thursday, shipping containers were used to block one of the main Islamabad highways and surrounding roads to keep protesters from entering the capital from nearby cities. Thousands of supporters of the TLP, which is an outlawed radical Islamist party, rallied on a highway in the town of Saduke as they marched towards Islamabad. They demanded the expulsion of the French envoy to Pakistan over the publication of caricatures of Prophet Muhammad in France. Violence erupted a day after the government of Prime Minister Imran Khan said it would not accept the Islamist demand to close the French embassy and expel the French envoy. Khan's decision infuriated supporters of the TLP. Over the weekend, the Tehreek-e-Labbaik Pakistan party had suspended their march to Islamabad to give the government 3 days to consider its demands. Also on Wednesday, the Information Minister Fawad Chaudhry told a news conference that Saad Rizvi's TLP will now be treated as a militant organisation. TLP supporters have also been demanding Rizvi's release from prison. He was arrested last year during previous protests against France over the caricatures. Rizvi's party started demanding the expulsion of the French envoy in October last year. His party gained prominence in Pakistan's 2018 election, campaigning on the single issue of defending the country's blasphemy law, which calls for the death penalty for anyone who insults Islam. Now, for more on this, our Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Mallick now joins us live from Kabul. Anas, what can you tell us about this rally? We're getting reports that paramilitary troops have been deployed in big numbers. Tell us more.
Well, absolutely, Priyanka. Paramilitary troops were called in yesterday. The Punjab Rangers was called in yesterday to take charge of the situation. There seems to be some confusion on the part of government because on one end, where ministers are calling TLP as a terror organization, as a militant outfit, they've been tweeting against it. On the other hand, there are negotiations that are ongoing. The first round did not end well. It did not bore any fruit. The government is adamant on their demand that TLP needs to pull back its protesters from the certain point where they are. They're currently in Gujranwala, about 3 hours from Islamabad. The TLP protesters need to go back, and only then their demands can be negotiated upon or can be heard upon and then be considered. What we can confirm that Saad Rizvi, the imprisoned Amir or imprisoned Supreme Leader of TLP, has been flown in from Lahore to Islamabad. He is part of the negotiations that are currently taking place at the Ministry of Interior in Islamabad. Islamabad has been converted into a container city by the Pakistani administration. The Pakistani side vows that they would be dealing anybody who tries to take law in his hands with an iron fist. So there seems to be some deadlock and some confusion on the part of government. Priyanka?
Right, Anas. Now, as you just said, the Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan has convened a meeting of the National Security Committee on Friday. This after 3 policemen were killed. Tell us more about the situation, especially in the capital.
Well, there have been clashes that have been continuing. Clashes have been there since about almost 6 days now. Over the weekend, the march did stop on the condition that their workers would be released. At least 5 policemen have been killed since this protest started last Friday. Almost a week now. More than 70 policemen are injured. That is what has been confirmed. The Pakistani Prime Minister has said that they would be dealing with them with an iron fist, and with regards to that, he's convened a meeting of the National Security Committee. The country's top military and civilian brass will be coming together tomorrow in the Prime Minister's office sometime after the Friday prayers, and will be deliberating upon TLP's demands. But prima facie, one thing that is very certain, that the government would not be negotiating under the current ambit. They would want the protesters to go back go back to a certain point, and then they would want to negotiate with this organization, which is a proscribed organization. They refer to it as a militant organization, yet they continue to negotiate with. Priyanka.
Anas Mallick, thank you so much for joining us on WION with all those inputs. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.